Rejected. I don't know what it was, but it was when Logan got rejected or something. Did anybody watch Zoe 101? Hello internet, my name is Catherine, and today I'm talking to you guys about rejection. Rejection is a huge part of life. It happens to everybody. And a lot of people, when they hear the word rejection, they think of romantic rejection. You ask out your crush, or you tell your crush you like them, and then they say that they don't like you back, or they won't go out with you, or whatever it is. But rejection can present itself in so many ways other than romantic. Personally, I am applying to college right now. I have yet to hear back from any schools, but there is academic rejection, being turned down by a school, being turned down by a job, maybe even rejection you've just set for yourself, wanting to become a certain thing and not being able to reach it, and like stopping yourself, rejecting yourself from doing that. There is so many different kinds of rejection, especially when we're in high school, I feel like, with trying out for plays or sports teams or whatever it is, there's a chance you're not going to make the cut. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about that today, so let's go. First of all, you are good enough. Nathan Zed has said it a million times. If you haven't seen his merch, please go get it. I have some of his merch. It's sitting over there in my dresser. It's amazing. He's an amazing guy. Watch his video, You Are Not Good Enough. You'll understand. So good. So good. You're good enough. Okay? Whether you get in or you don't, whether you're rejected or you're not, whatever it is, you're good enough. The rejection has little to do with you and everything to do with everything else. They just weren't looking for what you had. That doesn't mean you are not good enough. Just because you don't get into your top choice school or you didn't get that job you really wanted doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means you weren't what they're looking for, which means you probably wouldn't have wanted to go to that school or wanted that job anyway in the long run, because you weren't what they wanted and you want to be someplace where you're wanted. My tips for rejection are to process it, deal with it, and move on. Process your rejection. It happened. Okay. You didn't get this thing you wanted. You didn't get in the way you wanted. You didn't whatever. It didn't happen for you. Okay. Process it. Let it sink in. So many times I feel like we think we understand something when we don't. And we're like, oh yeah, I get that. And then it hits us 2 weeks later and we're like, oh my gosh, the world is crumbling to pieces. So when you find out that you're rejected from something, process it. Understand it. Number 2 is to deal with it. Personally, when I get rejected from things, I try to make it into a learning experience. What could I have done to maybe be better? Or what can I now do that I have this free time that I didn't have before, or whatever it is? So try to ask yourself, all right, why didn't I get it? Was it, if it's a job, did I not arrive on time? Was I not dressed properly? If it's an interview for a sports team, I guess that's like a sports what do you call that? Tryouts? Can you tell I don't do sports? If you don't make the football team, what could you have done at tryouts? Try to make yourself the best you can be. And again, I'm not saying this has anything to do with you in particular, but just try to use it as a learning experience, because we can always do better. I think we all know that. In whatever thing that we're doing, you can always do better. You've never reached your fullest potential, so try to think of what you could have done better. And then learn from that. Realize what you can do, all right? I was rejected from something and I was like, okay, that stinks. Really wanted to do that. But now I have all this free time, right? So what am I gonna use this free time for? Awesome, I started volunteering every week. I put way more time into my YouTube channel. I'm taking 4 AP classes. I don't have a whole lot of time as it is. So I spent a lot of time studying for that. I was focusing on improving myself. When you get rejected, focus on improving yourself. Don't take the anger out on other people. Don't create drama. Don't blame anybody. It's not your fault, but it's not their fault. Just breathe and learn from it, process, and become a better person because of it. And then move on. If you let this thing haunt you for the rest of your life, or you keep going back to it and you're like, what could I have done? What if I did this? What if I did that? You're never gonna live your fullest life. So learn to just block those thoughts out of your brain and realize that it happened and that's okay. move on to the next thing. Try out for a new thing, do a new thing, apply for a new job, apply to a new school, learn a new hobby, whatever it is, find a new person to love, however it goes. And I'm saying it like it's super easy. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. It is way easier said than done. However, it's so important to remember that you can do it. That this too shall pass. Everything in life is not permanent. You go through these ups and these downs, and that's completely normal. So this might just be one of your down moments, but an up moment is right around the corner. So keep your head up and remember that. Have you guys ever been in a rejected situation? Was it romantic, academic, personal, trying out for something? Have you guys ever experienced rejection? How did you deal with it? If you have any tips, comment those down below. I'd love to read them. I'm sure other people would love to read them. That's just kind of my take on how I personally deal with rejection, is via process it, deal with it, and move on. Because if you don't process it, you're not going to understand it. If you don't deal with it and learn from it, then what was the point in it happening at all? And if you can't move on, you're just going to sulk in it for the rest of your life, and then you're never going to get anywhere. So, that's just holding you back. So those are personally things that I do when I have a rejection situation. I'm sure I'm going to have way more in my life, right? Like, whether I apply for a job or grad school or whatever, rejection is a normal human part of life. It is okay. You're not weird because you got rejected. Rejection is normal, usual part of life. Here's how I deal with it. Let me know what you guys think. Alright, well, that was my video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. I make new videos every single Saturday, and I would love to have you. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you so much. Bye!